I'm live. I'm all by myself, y'all. Thank you for the support. This feels weird. Anyway, why are we here? We're here for a Married to Medicine, y'all. This is my first live, so y'all have to excuse me for being a little bit nervous because usually I get to pre-record these things and come talk about it with y'all later. But since you're here, I'm here. Let's go ahead and get into the things. It's a Married to Medicine. We're at season 11 and it's episode 14. Y'all like the video and subscribe to my channel. If you've been here before, and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that. So Married to Medicine, where do we start? Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone are discussing the relationship with Phaedra, or the ending of the relationship with Phaedra. I guess we needed to go ahead and break up. I don't know why, but that's what we're doing over here. Phaedra wrote that check, so these ladies have nothing else to talk about. There's no reason for anyone to be discussing how Phaedra didn't follow up on the things that she said she was going to do, because she did. Hopefully, Dr. Jackie will put some energy, for next year into having the right people in place that are going to actually support her annual Med Gala, which I think is to definitely be a thing. For whatever reason, they're over here trying to put the blame on Phaedra for what happened over in Florida with Apollo. And as much as I'm not a Phaedra fan, I don't agree with them. This was not Phaedra's fault. This was all on Dr. Heavenly. And I feel like these three sit around and they discuss things that they're going to do. What's up, Shayna? I'm here. Don't laugh at me unless I'm being funny. Yeah, so this was definitely not Phaedra's fault. Y'all brought Apollo over here, and I feel like, Apollo and Phaedra and checking all of those people in that little group, they knew exactly what they were supposed to be doing. Everybody had a role, and they all played it. I don't know why Phaedra is over here saying that Apollo gets jealous or upset when he sees her with another man. I don't believe it. He does not. At the end of the day, we're all broke up. We're all broke up. We don't have to deal with Phaedra anymore until, I'm guessing at some point. I know I was supposed to tell you, but I just thought I would come on here and test the waters. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you being here. Shayna_MCD. Child, how do you post pin the thing up here? There we go. My day one. She's been supporting me from the absolute beginning. So thank you, Shayna, for being my day one girl. Anyway, Apollo and Phaedra and all these people over here playing in our face. Hopefully they all got a check, but this is not their fault. So there's that. All of a sudden we're realizing, Dr. Jackie, that Phaedra was not in the group for the right reasons. And I'm going to go ahead and say, and y'all were not inviting Phaedra in the group for the right reasons. So as far as that's concerned, hey, love. Hey, Marcus Booker. Where are you watching me from? Don't answer that. You didn't miss much. You didn't watch it. You didn't miss much. They're over here. Next week is a finale, so we just gonna wrap things up. Like I said, Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone are over here pretending like they thought Phaedra was gonna be here for any type of reason other than to get that check. And she wrote a big one. Y'all should be embarrassed. They're very grateful for Phaedra. Contessa and Heavenly meet up. So I'm guessing this is another wrap up. Not really, though, because Contessa and Heavenly, I don't think we'll ever wrap this up. Yes, it was there. Obvious. She was just there to get back to Bravo. I don't know why. I don't like Phaedra. And I really don't, I don't need her here. I don't need her over there. Y'all like this lady. And so, I guess we'll deal with her because we don't have any other choice but to deal with her. So Contessa and Heavenly. Contessa and Dr. Heavenly, they meeting up to discuss this friendship that's not, I wish they would just cut it out. They're over here arguing over semantics. At the end of the day, Dr. Heavenly knows full well what she's doing. That's why she's going to say it and then she's going to take it back, because you can't go on YouTube talking about your friends the way she did. And Contessa's over here acting like volatile, abusive, whatever. You were over here acting like you and Scott were boxing. So, they're having this conversation and they basically agree to disagree, which we wish they would stay there, but we know, they're obviously not. Phaedra said that not Phaedra, Heavenly said that she would like for Contessa to at least admit her wrong in the situation. And Phaedra says she can't see it. I keep bringing up Phaedra. Contessa says she can't see it. She doesn't see how she was wrong in this scenario. And to be honest, that's why they don't need to try to be friends. Contessa brings up her diabetes event. So she's having this diabetes event. They do this from time to time and get the doctors all together for, some type of community situation. And that, we like it when they do that, because these are doctors over here and we want to see as much the doctors do what doctors do. You know what I'm saying? So Heavenly thinks it's irresponsible to invite everyone over to the event, and meaning Greg and Sweet Tea and Quad and King. And we're spending this whole episode trying to figure out how we're going to bring these people back together. Why? Because we all got to be here. To be honest, I feel like Quad and King don't have a problem being together, but somebody, Dr. Greg, he want to be calling police and pressing charges and things. As far as Contessa is concerned, I feel like I don't blame her. It's not her fight. I don't see why she should be being careful about any of this. I'm inviting everyone. Y'all figure out how you're going to get along or not get along, as far as I'm concerned. Contessa, I'm sure, feels like they should be able to put their differences aside, and they should. Feels like the only person that can't is Dr. Greg. He's the only person that is I don't know what he wants, to be honest. I think he wants for everyone to choose him instead of Quad, and Quad low-key wants the same thing, except Quad was already here and Dr. Greg was not. And I don't know why he can't be happy with his Sweet Tea, but seemingly she ain't really, able to keep this man under control. But no, neither could Quad. He is who he is. I don't want to start calling this man a garden gnome or, a little pipsqueak or anything, but that's what he's acting like. They have this little scene with Toya and hi, China Bell. Welcome to the channel. I'm over here acting like I know what I'm doing. So, I'm going to start out rough, but I promise you, you get this whole live thing up under my belt. Anyway, Toya and Dr. Jean are at their house having this conversation about him going to talk to Dr. Greg and her trying to go have a conversation with Letitia. I don't know why Toya thinks she's the couple's whisperer all the time, but that's not a thing because she usually doesn't make sense. Although this season, Latoya, she must not really be on that Patron the way she normally is. She somehow has it in her mind that Sweet Tea could go home to Greg and have a conversation with him and pull some type of logic out of this man where he understands that the group can't be as one if he's over here pressing charges. And I'm like, Toya, this lady has no type of say-so in this house. None. They do a flashback to Quad and Greg together. And he was treating her the same way he treats Sweet Tea. She can't go in there and tell that man anything. She found a new tequila. Did she? Did she say what it was? When she was at the beach, she was on the rum. Yeah, I can't see. So when I'm trying to read these chat, bear with me. Yeah, she said no, I don't think it's a new tequila. I think she found a tequila that she said is Patron, and it doesn't have artificial preservatives and things in it. I think that's the same tequila she was talking about. Anyway, this season, she has not gotten on my nerves. A lot of times, Toya, I don't really be messing with Toya like that. In the same kitchen. I missed that part. Anyway, like I said, oh, you talking about Sweet Tea over the same kitchen that Quad was in? Embarrassing. Hmm. I mean, it is what it is. She knew that's where she wanted to go. Remember, this is nice. Greg, on the other hand, is feeling like, not Greg, child, Eugene. Eugene is feeling like he can relate to Greg. He said him and Quad and King, they weren't friends anyway, and I get it, but you were also there. And you were also enjoying King's company until Greg had to open his mouth and left that man with no other option but to defend Quad. Greg could have just kept his mouth shut. I feel like him and Quad suffer from the same disease as they cannot keep their mouth shut, both of them. They want to be going back and forth still. And then King and Letitia are sitting over here on the outside like, are y'all okay? No, they're not. What else, y'all? Eugene said they wasn't even friends last year, but I don't think that matters. I think you could tell right from wrong. What's up, Jay? I think you can tell right from wrong. I think you know that if this man is calling the police, then the group can't be a group. And Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone were saying that same thing. The group is divided. The group is always divided, but nobody was calling the cops over a fight that didn't actually happen. Had the fight happened, I would feel differently. If King had went over there and put his hands on Greg, I would have felt differently. I would have felt like this man had every right to press charges, but instead he over here whining and crying because this man took his shirt off. Quad is in the house in a bikini getting a little something together for her man because she wants to have a discussion. Now, I don't know that they've talked about moving in together, but that's the conversation on the table for this date night that she has planned for the two. And they're in her jacuzzi pool situation. Every time I see her and her king somewhere in this type of setting, I feel like this lady Quad, Sweet Tea, is not jealous of you for any reason. I don't think the Quad is in any way jealous of Sweet Tea and Dr. Greg over there, standing on chairs and trying to reach things. This is a challenge, I feel like, maybe. So Quad has spent her time away from her previous marriage, working on herself, only to be able to purchase this beautiful home that we're, enjoying the scenery of right now. But now that her and King have been together for 2 years, she wants to consider maybe them moving together. She would like for King to move into her house. King is not trying to do that because, he feels like it's not in the order of the way things are supposed to be. And he feels like maybe he didn't ask her to move in his either. He said they should maybe purchase something together. And I think they should probably purchase something together. Quad, don't get rid of your house. Keep your house. It's what we like to call, what do they call it? Premarital property. I don't know that they plan on getting married, but I think it's a good idea for her to keep her house. But there's nothing wrong with him, I think, wanting them to just get something together. That's why they don't feel any type of way. But Quad is also still traumatized from living in Greg's house and him throwing in her face like, I take care of you and all the nasty things that Greg was saying. Sweet Tea, pay attention. Sweet Tea, go back to like season 3 or 4, as if you weren't a fan. What'd you say, Chuck? Let me think. Yeah, I think they should buy a house together. I mean, her trauma is showing in the way these two are communicating right now. At the end of the day, Quad is good. She's, got her king, and they're doing whatever they be doing 15 times a week. They're a good-looking couple. I mean, we can see that. Miles and Michael's dirty apartment. I don't know why this Miles is over here brushing his hair. What he needs to do is see a barber. Book, are you still there? This Miles man needs a haircut. These guys had a whole year. The intention was for them to live on their own. I don't know, Simone, you want them to keep the house clean stuff, that's ridiculous. I feel like if I rented a house to my children, I would also be preparing for, all the things that I'm going to have to fix in the process of letting them stay there. These guys are nasty. They weren't tearing things up. They just needed to clean up. Simone's plan is for them to move back home, and I'm like, that's ridiculous. That's not what is she trying to fix? Their rent is under $2,000, or what is it, $2,400. So between the two of them, I feel like they should be able to come up with $2,400 to pay them bills. I feel like at the very least you're gonna make more than $1,200 a month. I don't understand what her logic is or what her plan is for them moving them back home. That sounds stupid. What she needs to do is to move them in somewhere where there's a lease that doesn't have her name attached to it anywhere. You should go watch the show. It's funny sometimes. I don't know. I feel like that's a hard one as a parent. I fight with these types of dilemmas myself. However, I don't feel like her coming in there and telling them that they're going to have to move back home and paycheck stubs. And when was you teaching them this? I wouldn't care what their house looked like. I just wouldn't go over there. But I wouldn't like I said, they're not tearing up. They're just nasty. The thing that irritated me, though, is every time she says something to her kids, they laugh at her. Like they know full well she's not doing any of the stuff that she says she's going to do, including Cecil, who I feel like, Cecil, do you have 1,200? I don't know what Cecil be doing. So it's time for Contessa's diabetes event. And like I said, every season they do this. This is the part we like because we get to see the doctors do doctoring. Heavenly and Dr. Damon are on their way over there discussing how ridiculous Greg is for calling the cops and pressing charges against this man. It's crazy. Dr. Damon said, that's the most peaceful guy I think I ever met. Is it just me, or does Dr. Damon sound like Snuffleupagus? I be thinking Snuffy. Oh, Snuffy. Heavenly is messy. She said he pressed the charges because he can't stand seeing Quad with another man. And I feel like she's not wrong. Dr. Damon don't want any parts of that mess, but I feel like that's exactly what it is. He over there making records. He making videos and things. They have this video of him being passed around. If that's not the most ridiculous thing. Him singing that stupid song to Quad. Dr. G is so pressed as he's writing songs about Quad, sweet tea. That's what I heard him do. So everybody gets to compete gets to participate in the event. Quad is coming, but they got to be on shifts. King is not allowed to be a part of the group, which is causing the issue. The group all likes King as far as the men is concerned, but he can't be around if Dr. G is pressing charges. And we understand that. Contessa says, I don't understand what Contessa is trying to do. Actually, she's telling Quad like how, she was in this position last year when she had to be around these people. And I don't feel like Quad was that pressed when she was around them. But now that she's got her man around, Dr. G is over here being very pressed. I don't understand how Contessa thinks this is going to work if there's been charges pressed against this man. They're going to have to decide whether they want to be with one group or the other group. And I think that's their dilemma. Nobody really wants to be put in the position to choose. They're like, Dr. Greg been here forever. And then, King is new. And Quad been around. So how do we fix it? And Contessa, if you want to be out of it, be out of it. But this whole between her and Toya and these, speeches, where's the therapist at? Dr. Mimi is there. She's doing her therapy thing. She doesn't know any of these people. So I really need Dr. Mimi to relax. Heavenly chimes in, like Heavenly came over here starting mess with Contessa. Why? I don't understand. They just had a sit down where they agree to disagree. And Heavenly is over here breathing hard, harder than Quad, because Contessa says she wants everybody to be included. I feel like because of what they did last time, how they all got together as a coalition and actively threw Quad out the group together, now they're being very careful about how they handle that. She is flip-flopping. It's getting on my nerves. Because really, they could just tell Dr. G, listen, we want to have you around, but if you're going to be pressing charges, then we're going to not be able to do it. We're going to have to decide which things, that you can come to. And even though you've been our friend, we don't like this whole thing that you're doing, trying to keep divide. They can definitely go to events and keep their mouth shut and stay away from each other. And these Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie and all these, scientists and chemists that be trying to put people together so they can watch the reaction. Quad, stop giving them a reaction. Sweet Tea too, like she be huffing and puffing and blowing smoke over everything. Her and Heavenly. And Heavenly is so grown, like far too old to be going back and forth with Sweet Tea. It's honestly embarrassing. Sweet Tea is like a dog with a bone. She's not letting that thing go. What is she even mad at? Does she even know? And she walking around talking about, I can't make any decisions to do anything unless my husband says it's okay. You got to ask permission. Go play with your friends. And he's like, you can't play with them if I can't play with them. Little pipsqueak. And I feel like, okay, so there was there wasn't an altercation, so that didn't happen. So maybe they should just say, if King can't come, then Dr. Greg can't come, and then only Sweet Tea and Quad can come. The men are outside talking about how they disagree. They disagree. They don't think that this man should be, calling the cops. Curtis isn't a doctor. Curtis is over it. Clearly, what's his name? King has had conversations with Steve, the new guy. So they all like him. That's their challenge. Sweet Tea comes and then Quad exits. And I guess that's how it's going to have to be until they figure it out. They asked Greg, the men have a sit down with Dr. Greg, and they ask him, like, is there any way, like, how do we move forward as a group? Is there any way that you can, like, not press charges against this man and, we figure out a different way so we can move forward? Greg sat up there and said he doesn't know King, and the only person that can fix this is Quad. So what is it that he wants Quad to do? It's like you can see this little shit-eating grin he has because he feels like he's in some type of control, and he's going to make Quad come over here and say sorry to him, or her new boyfriend can't play over here. And I think that's going to backfire because every time they have a conversation with him and acknowledge his feelings, they go behind the scenes and say, yeah, well, maybe these two should just take a break. So they're behind the scenes telling you to take a break. We got one more episode with this what do you call it? Bridgerton themed anniversary party. And it seems like they're trying to force Quad after they came over to her little girlfriends get together down to her lovely pool and hot tub and told her how they're choosing her because, it doesn't make sense for them to not. With Sweet Tea says that she can't control herself. I don't think that's what Sweet Tea said, but that's how Toya interpreted it. I hope this is not in a nicer place. I had high expectations, Toya, and it looks like some type of ballroom. If we're going to do Bridgerton, I wanted to see some, Anyway, we'll get there. But for right now, we over here on the porch with Dr. Greg saying he would like for Quad to come fix this. And Dr. Scott is me. Child, Dr. Scott said Greg is over here mad about a relationship that ended 7 years ago. And he should just let that go. And these people should just stay away from each other. And I agree. So that's pretty much it, y'all. Yeah. Next week we got the anniversary party. And then, we're going to go ahead and Get to the reunion. I don't like to do the reunion looks separate. Everybody does the reunion looks. I'll be talking about the reunion looks when I talk about the reunion. But I'm sure you've all seen it. I'll be back later, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and set what do you call it? A reminder. Set y'all a reminder. Thank you, Shayna. I'm gonna set y'all a reminder to come back and see me at 8 o'clock because me and my girl T, if you don't know Tamika, we started out this thing, a couple few years ago together. So Tamika is coming with me to do a live tonight. We're gonna talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta because they are back. In the meantime, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see y'all when I see you. Bye, y'all. We out of here.